All right, welcome to Tech Immersion Day 4. This is Smart here. And over the past days now, we've been into Tech Immersion. We've seen various, technologies. We've been able to see Django, okay, and also we've been able to see our CSS. We've been able to see the Flexbox, the Flex items, and then we've been able to see from our Tech Immersion Day 3, we're able to see how we can create a diary app. Today we are, moving deep again, as we are still going to be exploring Django, and this time we are exploring a more sophisticated app, coupled with our visualization, which will be using Matplotlib, to do our visualization for a particular data that we are also getting from the user. So it's going to be a massive project we're working on today, Tech Immersion Day 4. And I'm very glad to have amidst us a developer, a software engineer that will be, showing us some couple of things regarding Django, regarding, Matplotlib, regarding various things that are available in Django, like the models, like the templates, like the static files, like the views, admin settings, and various other things. So I'm very, very delighted to have him amidst us this afternoon. And is a person of Mr. Likon. Mr. Likon, can you say hi?
Hi, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. So we are very, very delighted to have him amidst us this afternoon. It's going to be showing us a whole lot of things. Even me, I'm ready to learn a whole lot of things, a whole lot of new things, how we can, begin to combine, most of the times when you add of data analysis, data analysis is mostly, we use libraries like the pandas, like the Matplotlib, NumPy, and the likes. So, but today we'll be combining one of the popular libraries, which is Matplotlib. We'll be combining it together with our Django and see how both of them can interact, how we can, create something out of it. So I'm very, very delighted, as I will be learning a whole lot of things from this video. Now, and I want to welcome Mr. Likon. Just like I've said before, will be the one that will be showing us all these things. He's a software engineer and has been working on a couple of projects, at least that I've seen, that I know of, and I feel, yeah, he's the man for this job. He will be able to put us through a lot of things. So, Mr. Likon, over to you. You can just introduce yourself briefly and then show us the completed project, and then start the project just like that. Thank you very much, sir. Over to you, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. First off, Likon usually by name. So I'm a backend developer and I leverage Python, which has a framework of Django for web development. And today I'll be showing how I made a project that entails creation of data and scores and displaying them via. I'm making a data visualization of those data and the scores using Matplotlib library, which is a library in Python. So this is a preview of the app. Yeah, this is the home page. It has just 2 pages. This particular page will be taking the inputs for the course title and the course score, which will be added to the database. And the database is basically the text file. So from here we can get to inputs our course title. Let's say we have CSC 701, and then we have a score of 88. Yeah, then after clicking the submit button, it will show file updated CSC 701. So we can get to add more scores, although we already have some data in our data file, which is a text file. So I want to add more data to the text file. So let's say we have MTS 201, and then we have a score of 45. And then when we click submit, it will show file updated MTS 201. So we can get to display our chart from here. Yeah, so now we have So now we have our data updated to the already existing data in the text file. So we have 6301 showing the score 50 to 60. And the grade basically works just like the normal GPA in universities, whereby we have 70 and above for A, 60 to 70 for B, 50 to 60 for C, 50 to 59 rather for C, 40 to 49 for D, and then 40 below as E. So from the data that was previously imputed, we have 6701, and there we got A because we have the score in between 70 to 100, and for the MTS 201 we have the which is between 40 to 49. So now I'll be showing you how to make this kind of projects using Django framework. So now I'll be creating a new project. So to create a new Django project, we're using Django admin. Using Django admin, start projects. Then you can decide to name it grade comments. Yeah, so we need to enter into the project to create our app. So now we're already inside our grid point. So we can now proceed to create our app. Okay, py manage.py start app. So we can decide to name it chat. So now we've created our project now, and here we have our chat showing the app name of the project. So now I will need to do some importations of the HTML and CSS file to save us from a lot of time. So, but first up, I will need to create a template to take our HTML files, and then I'll start to take our CSS file and the images for the chart. Yeah, so now I'm done importing the files, and we can now proceed to start working on our project. So I want to create a new Okay, now so we can now start working on our grid points. Okay, we need to adjust our settings and add our app name, which is yeah, which is chart. And then proceed to add our templates, which is where our HTML files are saved. Then we need to add a static directory file. So we need to import our OS, which is a library to specify the static file which we'll be adding to the chat project. And now we can work with our URL and add our another URL for the app we created, which is the chat. So we are creating an empty route. In our app name dot URLs. Then we need to import include to specify the location of our chats.urls. So now we need to add our URLs to our file in the app name. Yes, so now we've added our URLs. So from our from the project name, we need to call the URLs that we specified not quite long. And then we have another Python file that we're working on, which is the views, and we need to call the same view in our URLs there. So we need to create our URLs pattern to create the particular route we'll be working on, and we'll be connecting this part, which is going using an empty in the name, and then our views dot the o. I'm creating an into us. Points. So we need to create another part, which is our charts page. You need to name the routes charts, then use parts to be charts as well. Now we're going to be working with our views since we already have all our these things imported. Since we have all our template and the static imported, we will only need to reference this thing to make our work easier. So, and then we need to make some importation from Matplotlib dot pyplots. So we're importing this now, naming it as ply, meaning that for every place we'll be using our Matplotlib library, we'll be calling the Matplotlib library as PLY. And now we're going to we need to import our OS just like the same way we imported using settings to call our static file. So now with the particular database, which will be our text file, we need to create another folder for it. So let's name it DB, and then we really don't need to add the image because since we're working on our functions, we can just directly create the picture by doing the necessary tasks on the home page. So we can decide to but then we can still add, let's say we have our score. Let's see extreme. Then we have our file created. So we're working with our first function, which is the O. So we're taking in requests. We're taking in requests. So we need to check our index page so we can get to call the variables inside of the functions there. So we can now say if our requests, because we'll be using the post method to get our information from the client side. So let's say if requests dot if request dot method if request dot method is equal to post, then we should be getting our request from our front end. So we can say name is equal to request dot post dot get. So we're getting our username from A, which is what we're calling our name as variable A. So we're calling this username A. So we can get to input our username. And then we'll be adding a string formatting option to strip any white space the user might get to add to the input they provided from the front end. So we need to add as well. So using same method request dot post dot get. And then we're calling the same variable to from our front end, which is called, so referencing this call, then dot string, in case there is any white space. So from there, if these conditions are right, then we can now say if name and score, meaning that if the two are not voids, meaning that they have a particular value for each variable, then we can decide to continue with our operation. So opening a function, for function to work with. But before then, we need to create the location of our file paths. Because like Django, where we just get to add the location directly from a, but it doesn't work like that in Django. We need to reference the location. So we have os.paths dot join. So we need to create another parenthesis, os dot paths dot directory name. And then now we need to call the folder name, which is db, and then the file name, which is score.txt, which is called txt. So now we can now get to call our file paths inside the file function. So file paths, and then we get to input our mode, meaning that we want to create the method the method of operation for the file, because we have several methods. But for the A means that we are appending content to the file text. So as file. So now we can now say file. Dot write line, because for every data we'll be adding, we're going to be creating it inside of a new line. So for if you're adding now to add a new line, the next operation we'll do again will be added to another new line. So file dot write lines, and then our string function, and then the variable we'll be taking is our name. The variable we'll be taking is our name. Then we add the space, then we take our score to, and then we create a new line. Then we create a new line. So after creating the line, we will now ask for so we'll now return a render requests. So while we're working on this particular operation, we need to make, since we are just working with just a page, if the user adds a content to the operation, it's just going to it's still going to retain the same page. So we need to call that same index. We need to call the same on page, which is index.html, which is index.html. And then since we'll be adding some particular values, to the home page, which is the H6 there, we need to send some content to our variable alert colon and name here. So the alert is going to take the value, it's going to take the value file updated. And then our colon, which is a regular colon, and then our name, which is which is the name of the course title. So it has to be in this particular format and not in the string format. But this condition, if this condition is not met, then it should still retain the same page. Don't render. Index.html. So index.html. So now for our second function, which is we're going to name our function charts, and then we're still going to be taking the same request argument. So this is where the main operation is. So whereby if they are done adding the contents to the backend, then once they click on the display charts, it should work on some operations to format, to get the contents from the text file, whereby we're going to access the names, we're going to access the scores, and place them in order and make it to display on the chart using our Matplotlib library. So from this function, we'll start with by accessing our Python file. So we'll still call our file paths. Then the mode we're going to be using now is read, because we want to read the file. So we're using our as file. So we're calling our file. So you can also say file dot read lines. File dot read lines. Okay, just file dot read lines, and then okay, we need to assign this to a variable. So anytime we call the file list, we'll be able to get everything inside of our files in this readline format, where it will all be in a list data type. So now we need to work with another variable, which is our file composition. You can just name it file comp. And from there, we'll get to access all of our content and file list inside of our file comp. So we're going to be using list comprehension. List comprehension in the sense that we can create sequence, like variables that are in sequence, like data type that are in sequence inside of a list, by not having to work on another, like not having to work on the next step for loop and all. So we'll start with by using our for loop inside of our list. So for elements, okay, let's say for data in for lists. So this particular data will now be imputed before this for list, which is going to be our content that will be inside this file composition named as file comp. So now we have data And we're not just sending our data, we will need to split it, meaning that for this particular list that we'll be creating, it will eventually end up as a nested list. So now we need to do data.split. So whereby we're going to be having our default list, and then inside of our default list, we're going to be having several lists, whereby in each of those lists, we'll be having our name separately, which will be the index 0, and we will be having our scores separately, which will be in index 1. So by doing this data.split, we can directly format everything inside of this file com. So inside of this file com, we will now be working on our name. We'll not be working on our name, which is the course title. So we're going to be creating another list comprehension. We're going to be working with list comprehension again. So now that we have our file composition and everything in this file composition has all our data in the right format. So to get the name, we're going to append everything inside of file com, each of those lists inside of file com, each of the indexes that comes with the file com, the index 0 will be appended to this name. So to do that, we need to do another for loop. So now we can now say let's say for names in, okay, we can now say for name. Okay, for name in file composition. For name in file composition, we can now name we can take our variable as name index of 0. Okay, now so now for our name, for every node is going to be taken, because now we're working with every of our lists inside of the file composition. So if we're getting to access one of our names in the file composition, then for each of this name is going to be taking everything inside of the index of 0 in each of those lists in the next list. So we're using the same format to get our score. So you can now say score is equals to, we can say for score in file com, then we're taking our index of 1. We're taking our index of 1. So now we need to create the picture size of our charts that will be displayed in the second page of our HTML. So now we need to do PLY, which is our listing dot figure, PLY dot figure. Then we're going to do figure size. Then we're going to give this one to be 16, to be 10 inches, and the height of 6. And now we're going to be assigning our x-axis and our y-axis inside of our file. So we can now say ply dot bar, because we're working with the bar chart. So we have our names first. Our names, the names will be on the name will be on the x-axis, while the score will be on our y-axis. So now to work with the condition that we assign each of the grids on, each of the bar charts. So we need to create a condition. We need to create a for loop, and here we'll be working with enumeration method in Python, which is a very, very fast method to escape for loop, because they'll be working with two variables. we're working with two variables where score is going to be our score from this score list that was created, and I is going to be our index. So now for I, comma score in enumerates, enumerates. Enumerates score. So now we're going to be creating the condition. If score is greater than or equal to 90 or equal to 70, then our grade should be A. So we continue to add our conditions. If score is greater than or equal to, okay. Now we're going to be adding a chain comparison whereby we will now have to work with logical our comparison operators. So we can just do 60 is less than or equal to score, then greater or then less than 70. So now we're going to be adding our grade, which is B. So now we'll continue to do this. So we add 50 to this, we add 60 to this, we add 40 to this, and then we add 50 to this. Okay, and then we will change our grade values to okay, this has to be greater than to avoid errors. Okay, so now we need to add our last condition, which is else. Which is else, meaning that it is going to be less than 40. So for any scores less than 40, we're going to be appending E for the score. So now we're going to work with our test scores. We need to append those particular scores inside of our chart. So the method is apply, which is our library name, and then texts, and then our particular index, which is going to append, which is going to be checked after the order for each of those scores in our list here. So we have score plus 1. This is just the positioning of the grade on our charts, and then we add our grade, and then we add and then we finally add our and then we finally add our score, but we really don't need to show the score again. So we just need to okay, so we need to change it so we need to avoid errors because you're calling the scores twice. Okay, we're fine now. So we really don't need to add the score because the score will be showing next to the grade. So we can just say we will need to do the another positioning again, which is the horizontal alignment. We add center. And then from here we get to add our title for this course. You can see ply dot x label. So the values that will be shown on the X label is charts. Oh, sorry, course is, and then for the next one we have PLY dot Y label. So the data that will be shown on our Y label is score, scores. And then now we have our PLY dot title. So we can name it grade points graph. Grade points graph. So we need to adjust our positioning because the way we're going to structure our intervals on our y axis. So we first of all need to set the limits, the range that we want. So I want it to show from 100 to 105. 100 to 105. So we will need to adjust the range too. So p dot y takes, then we have okay, so we need to add our range. And from our range we have 0, 105, 105, 10. So since we want the values to be shown from 0 to 105, and then should be within the interval of 10, then we need to stick to this format. So now we'll be creating our file now, save figure, and then we're going to be adding the location. So our app name is charts, and then we have from our charts we have the this thing is saved in static. So we write static, and then our file name, although we really don't need to add the file inside of static, because once they click on the display chart, it will automatically save the name of the chart. So we can just name it charts.png. So it will automatically save. So now we're going to return. So this has to be outside. Okay, so we need to return our request. Then now we're calling our charts. So we're calling our charts.html. Charts.html. Yes, I think we're good now, and we can proceed to check our charts. Yes. So let me run the program now to see if we're good to go. So py manage dot py to run our server. Oh, all right, close this. Py on server. Okay, yeah, so now we cannot proceed to add our courses and our scores. So let's go ahead to our MTS 101. Let's say we have a score of 34. Then when you click submit, it says file updated MTS 101. So now let's add CSC 49445. Let's say we have a score of 67. Submit. Yeah, so you see this file submitted is CSC 445. So now let's add TS 259. Let's see we have a score of 79. Okay, I see it's file updated ETS 259. So let's add PHS. Okay, the course code 171. So let's add the score. Let's say we have 45. The PHS 171 is updated. So now let's add CSC again. So let's go with 601 and let's add score of 91. It says CSC 601 has been updated. So now let's add ENG 1 ENG 321. So now let's add the score of 84. So now let's add the very last one, CSC again, 512. You see we have a score of 80. So yeah, we've added about 7 data also. So now we can get to display our charts by clicking on the button here. Okay. Okay, the top display file combination. As okay, all right. So from the data that was taken from the notes comes with the data that was taken on the notes comes with the string format. So we need to typecast it to integer. Yes, so now we've already converted our score to integer. The name can continue to retain the string data type. Okay, now we can get to display our chart. Since we have our file saved on our display chart there, everything that was taken there, yes, so we have about 7 data there. So let's display our chart from there. Data splits in for instance. Okay, so let us convert some to string two. Oh, so the spelling is wrong. It's spelled SPLIT, not SPILT. So yeah, it should work now. I guess that was fast enough for this to pick. If you're having an error here, I score plus one. Great. We need to call. We actually didn't call this calls from our data A, so that was why we're getting the error. So I've adjusted it to scores. So we should have our results now. We don't have an image yet. Charts. Let's see. Charts. Okay. Okay, yeah, the spelling is wrong, so we need to adjust it to just charts. Yeah, so now we have our charts. So for the MTS-101 that we imputed shows that it ranges between 42, 0 to 39, meaning that for every score that is in between 0 to 39, it will assign E to it, and the same thing applies to the rest.
Okay, are you through with the app now, sir? Yeah, I think we have been able to see a lot of things. Yeah, it's actually an awesome app. Yeah, it's actually awesome. At least we've been able to see, a lot of things. We've been able to see Matplotlib in action. And then we've also been able to see that, we can combine our Django together with our, data analysis libraries, like the Matplotlib, just like the one you do us. And I think this is a very great app to start with. Yeah, I love the app. Thank you very much, sir. I don't know, from others, is there anybody that has the particular question that I want to ask him, from the time he started building the app, if there's anything you want him to come again on, or any parts you don't understand, so you can just, come again on that particular aspects. Do you have any question for him? All right, I think there is no question. So in absence of no question, let's stop here. And I want to really appreciate you, sir, Mr. Likon, for coming around for Tech Immersion Day 4. We are really delighted. And at least I personally have been able to, get a lot of things from, all those things that you design. Actually, I have not really used Matplotlib to combine, getting database from my own mini database. I've not done it that way before. I think this is another idea for me to leverage on. And I must really say thank you. And I hope others that are also seeing this video should also have gotten one or two things from the things that I have explained. So, and I must say thank you very much for coming around. Thank you very much from Smart. We really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.